and welcome to the Wolf Game Theory. I am Layer Cake, and I'm joined, as always, by
Neil Bottle.
public service announcement. Before we start, this is not financial advice. Anything you hear on the show is just for informational purposes only, and let's go out there and have some fun. We'll start off today, as we usually do, with the standings, current standings of the Alpha game. Things are still unchanged, 1 through 4. We'll talk with Real Crypto Coach Corey, G Money, Panther QB19, and the Real Crypto Coach number 2. Rounding out the top, we look at Wongsworth, AJ Vanderchuk, Woolish 1026, and our guest today on the show, Jussumguy. Johnny Moe is hanging just behind Just Some with Frenzy, Lord Fenrir, Malcode, Shamdu, and Mr. Anon trailing up. We'll look at the actions today. Looks as if Crypto Corey and Panther and their little feud is becoming a big one, because it seems to me that every other move is against one of them. We finally had an attack by AJV, which was the last move recorded on the board, and that was against Woolish 1026. And all that did was break down one of his many fortifications. One thing I find interesting about the leaderboard is that the top 4 teams have 0 fortification, which is interesting because they all came out the gate pretty hard fortifying, but then soon but surely all those fortifications went away. What do you think about that, Neil?
Yeah, that was. It's hard to know. Yeah, the top teams really duked it out, and there were targets from some of the lower teams at times. There was payoffs, and then we have this mercenary service, as well to add into the mix. So it's super interesting. It's very close between the top 3 in my opinion. Panther has that kind of backup of point accumulation, but keeps on getting hammered. He's just, even today, that spread is even bigger than it was yesterday when we were talking about this. Crypto Corey crossed the 2 million mark. He got hit, pulled back down for a slight bit of time, then smashed it again. But I can see some real changes coming up soon. And there's that middle of the board is fortified up to the max, and it takes a few switches and a few injections here and there, and there's going to be some changes on this board. We look at Johnny Moe. He has came in hot and heavy in the last little while. Wow. He's creeping up. There's
I think we all know what that's about.
Oh yeah.
We all know what that's about. We all know that. I mean, pretty much, each alpha had their chance to take over the Twitter space today, and JMO wasted no time in going in pretty heavy on the V Friends collab speculation. Pretty much, I would say, guaranteeing people an NFT. Oh, I mean, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And he also, on yesterday's show, you said that you didn't think that a couple of thousand would cut the mustard. But he made it sound today like it would.
Well, I actually asked him that question. I don't know if you noticed that, but I asked him, after he went into one of his rants, I was like, so is there a threshold here? Or is there a minimum?
Yeah.
And he said, we didn't want to say anything, but I'm pretty sure if we go back and run the tape back, he says about 3,000 wool.
So, I thought he said 1,000. Anyway, we will run that tape back. We'll run that tape back.
Bet some wool on. Let's bet some wool on that. Let's look at the mercenary side.
Sure. So that site I went in to go and buy one hit. I did. And it was gone. It was taken. It was taken by Corey. And it was a hit on...
Who do you think?
Panther. Of course, had to be.
Yeah, man. I think this site is we're just gonna rename it Panther and Corey Lackey. I think that's pretty much what it's turning into. I think they're gonna outbid any and anyone that, or any and everyone, I should say, that tries to outbid them, because I think
it's a Dutch auction, so I can get in before them. So the first one went for 1,300, the second one went for 1,200. If I have 12,000. If I have 15,000 wool there,
let's put a vote in the comments. If you want to vote for who Neil should
Oh
personally.
no, I know who I'm
attack
gonna
this
hit.
game.
I know who I'm gonna
He
hit.
knows.
So it's if you want to contribute to the fund, any wool that's sent
Just
to my
put your
address
wallet
will
in
go directly towards a hit. And that's for sure. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
move on. What else did you want to cover next?
Yeah, I think we're going to talk a little wool right now.
For sure.
Let's look at this
Yeah.
wool chart.
Yeah, we're around the same as we were yesterday. We did see a little dip all the way down to 15 when that was just on our stream yesterday, wasn't it?
Right, and then
Yeah.
it was bought up immediately. So
For sure,
we
on air,
talked
yeah.
about- we
And
talked about it, and it looks like a clear
18.
base and a clear consolidation period happening. You know,
Yeah.
and that to me just says healthy. So this chart looks really good. You know, and
Something
no,
that I want to touch on is POW has passed out and is rocking in terms of growth.
how to.
Yeah. So I just want to say that,
Wow, look at that.
and it's found perfect support.
Wow, look at that, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm bullish. You zoom out here. It's got serious potential, this coin and this project. But getting back to Wolf Game, we'll have a look at Scarly's site here, if it wants to load up for me. Again, still the same gift there. And our floor prices similar to yesterday, across the board. We've seen definitely an effect of that farmer information that's being pushed.
Absolutely.
And maybe a little bit of a drop in wool pouches over the last few days. But I'd love to just touch off the spaces today. I thought that was super exciting.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I mean,
I can republish the video that we mentioned the DAO in now.
oh yeah, we can run that back. I was actually having a discussion with some of the presumed members today, and they were like, good thing you guys don't have a lot of subscribers at that point, because the whole can of beans could have been just leaked all over the kingdom right away. So. Yeah, that's a really, for everyone listening now, there was an announcement today on the Twitter Spaces that was done, the official Wolf Game Twitter Space every week, and Lord Fenrir and company announced that they would be forming a DAO to manage Wolf Game assets and make Wolf Game moves and become a force to be reckoned with. A whale of the people, not the people's whale.
Exactly. Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
we do have Jussumguy here. Would you like to weigh in on that and tell me what you feel, not only as an Alpha 8, but also as a player of the game?
I'm going to come at this not as an Alpha 8, so I don't sound like I'm just attacking another person, but look at what's happening with, what is it, Monk DAO? Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
whatever issues that they're having. Look at what Ohm is having issues with. Look at what Time Wonderland is having issues with. Look at what Snowbank is having issues with. Look at all the problems that exist around a DAO and fractional ownership, right? There's really the only thing you're doing is trading a token of value against the assets inside of that DAO. It's not what everybody thinks it is as far as fractional ownership and being able to do that stuff. You're not going to be able to pull out a small piece of it. If you want to exit, you're just going to be able to trade your governance token at whatever price someone is willing to pay for it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, and I give them props for doing it, right? But there's a whole host of things in the background. Is there going to be a weighting system as far as who's going to get what? Is it equally split? How are they going to get more money in it to control more assets? Who's going to run it? Is it going to be under a multi-sig? Who are the signers on the multi-sig? There's just a whole host of things that happen with that. And what people need to understand is it's a fraction of an ownership, right? So let's say we have 1,000 people on that team. What's 1/1000th of something that's, let's just put a number on it and say, 300 ETH worth. What's 1/1000th of 300 ETH? It's not a large share at all. right? And it's going to take them time to get it off the floor, and I hope they're successful with it, with what they're doing on their long-term plans. But
Absolutely.
I just don't see, it going more than maybe like a couple of months before things kind of fizzle out, right? I mean, we're in the middle of alpha game. Everybody's surrounding and basing their decisions off of alpha game to go into this DAO or to go to, the team that's, getting paid wool for their attacks. Right. That one's actually smart because you're bringing in something liquid that can be split. If you are going to divide it against the team, it's not going to be locked up. It's not going to be under governance control. And what's going to happen, in a month or 2 months, when all of a sudden people are thinking the full game is going to be based on kingdoms and the alphas are going to control those kingdoms, and it's not, right? I mean, if you look at the first risky game, the first stage of the game, all the alpha 8s were is the ones that got a majority of the stack.
Right.
It wasn't exceptional utility and all that stuff. What really brought light to the alpha 8s was the alpha game. It wasn't that they were always that top peg, that top pony. It was the rarest one, but it didn't hold the value in people's eyes as it does like when we're playing alpha game, right? So we go back to normal, we start playing the full game. Yeah, they're still going to have good rewards, but I don't think people are going to have the power like what they think what it's going to have. So it's just, people need to be cautious with what they're doing, and moving for the flavor of the day is maybe not always the right move. Right. Just to kind of do some of that stuff. Like I had one of the guys that was kind of helping me run my team actually went over to help with the DAO. I said, best of luck to you. I have no hard feelings, on his side, but it made sense for him supposedly to get a better payout over there, which I'm fine with. That's the whole point of why we're playing alpha game, is for everybody to make decisions that are going to benefit them the most, right? But while still working as a team, so it's not, I don't want people locked up doing that stuff, feeling like they're, forced to stay with me. By all means, if you got a better opportunity to make the most of it, go. I know I would.
Right.
So I'm playing a different game. I mean, Corey's talking about, my kingdoms are going to be controlled everywhere. You're going to be able to roam free on my land. There's a lot of promises being given out, and I just don't know at the end of the day if all the backdoor deals and the undercutting and the cutthroat and the attitude of people is worth it, right? Yeah, it's a fun game. Yeah, there's money at stake, but at the end of the day, we all win.
Right. Yes.
There's going to be one winner and everybody else loses.
That's a big point, isn't it?
This is not Squid Game.
Yeah.
It depending on your outlook on the game and how you want to play it is going to dictate your actions in it. And I've always told my team from day one, I'm going to do what's best for everybody, not for myself.
Right.
And if that means, I've got people on my Discord every night, that we sit there and talk other things. But I also go over Wolf Game with them too, right? We'll go over stats, if it makes sense to move to another team, move assets to another team, I'm going to tell them, where you're at that time, where you're going to get your best payout. Right? If it's not with my team, so be it. But, looking over the last couple of weeks with numbers, and I haven't looked today yet. I know some stuff has changed with some of the movements, but as of last night at like 11 p.m., unless you went to the Anon team and got a 35-40% more payout, everybody was within a couple of percentage points of each other across the board. And that's where current standings are. Not to say there's going to be board movements that are going to, dictate something else. But I think as those movements come, you're going to see people switch teams to maintain some type of payout with another top tier team, right? So there's going to be a whole lot of shifting and movement. But I think Chef's got it hammered out at the end of the day where, as an aggregate, most people are going to be within a certain range. Obviously, some are going to benefit more than others. But when you look at it as a whole for the average person, at the end of the day, it really, really doesn't matter what team you're on.